not go into an enclosed
That's
place
what I
with
want to
somebody
say.
you cannot trust. Do
But then
not
we've seen
try
that
it.
most rape
Then
cases are between people that you trust. Most rape cases are maybe like a friend over time, someone that you're comfortable with over time, a family relation, and then you could just say, okay, I'm safe in the vicinity with this man or with this woman. So we've come to see that most rape cases are actually happen between trusted people, trusted family members.
So, okay, let me say
now
some. Okay.
the word trust is relative. What I mean relative is manipulation and brainwashing of an over 18-year-old child should be questioned. There are signs. There are signs to show you what this person is. This is how rapists operate.
That's
They don't just come to meet you and rape you the first day.
They
They
build the
start with
trust.
the words. They build the trust.
Yeah.
When they feel that they build the trust to a certain level, then they will start with sexual assault.
Yeah.
Sexual assault, like, oh, you dress so beautifully, you look sexily. Those words are not supposed to be coming out from somebody that you are not emotionally attached to. Oh, your breast is coming out bigger. Oh, praise the Lord. What does the pastor has to do with your breast and hip coming bigger? That is a sexual manipulation. Oh, I want to tell you something, and I just hope that you're going to keep it secret. According to Saint Roman, that is manipulation. Now, this is where it is. It is a chain. When a child miss love in the home, they look for love in the midst of those people that are not supposed to be trusted: the pastors, the friends, and the relatives. But when a child receive enough love in the house, the moment this manipulation starts, they run back home to gist their parents of what is happening, who can treat them right. So everything still boils down to who are the parents. Okay, now let's talk about people that don't have parents. Who are the guardians? Who do they trust? So it is not about
Okay. Before we've lost her, so we'll just wait for her to come back, and then Bimpe, you wanted to say something.
Oh yes, you see, I want to say something that you see, I always like my pattern. Like I said, mostly the parents has a lot to do. Not only the parents, of course, he or she doesn't have a parents, the guardian, the custodian. They have a lot to do in this call. Because I remember some time ago when my first son was 7. I think the family was 7 years then. You see, either 7 or 6 that I brought this girl into my house. you know so that particular year I really suffered getting an house girl, like an
That's
housemaid,
so.
back home. So all the ones I was getting, unfortunately, I had to send two away. Then that was in January, and we all know that after January,
It becomes more
February, it
difficult.
becomes
Yeah.
more difficult. So like those ones I sent, in fact, they brought one for me in February. Oh my God. Everything about that girl was lies. She lies on everything. So I couldn't cope. Beautiful girl, good girl, but because of that, I had to tell her to go. So since then, I was looking for help. I didn't get one, and the stress was killing me. So sometimes around May or June, I told somebody. So they got me this girl. They told me to come and pick her up. Guess what? When I got there, this girl was just 11 years old.
Wow.
You see, but because of the desperation that I
You
had
brought
then,
her.
I had to take her. You see, when I took the girl back home, when my husband saw her, the first thing he said was that, "What, Bimpe, we cannot have this girl here." I said, "Why?" He said, "Bimpe, this is child abuse." You see, I never even thought about it. He said, this is child abuse. I said, what would she do? Just to wash, do the dishes, and my husband said no. My husband kicked against it. Of course, women, I had my way because I felt I just needed somebody at that time.
Yeah, you needed the help.
But do you know that this girl lived with me? She started menstruating, as in her first menses was in my house. You see, when the girl clocked 12 or 13, I think 12 or 13, she started molesting my child.
Oh wow.
My son just came to us and said, Mommy, and my son was just 7. You see, I said, you see, she said something that when love is missing, they will find, same thing with
Somewhere.
couple.
Yeah.
Same thing with couple. When love is missing, they will find it elsewhere. They will find that solace elsewhere. And my son just told me that, in fact, he told both of us that, Mommy, Daddy, Emilia told me to, as in, Emilia was naked before me and told me to touch wherever I like.
Oh wow.
You see, in my wildest imagination, I wouldn't even have thought that Emilia of 12 years old
We'll do that.
would do that. Emilia came into my house when it was like 10, literally like 10 or almost 11 years old. So, who built Emilia up? Where was Emilia coming from? Where has she been exposed to? Who are those that she has been exposed to? You can't trust anybody, even right under your roof. You cannot trust no auntie. You can't trust any auntie. You can't trust any cousin. In fact, my children knows that, look, it is only mom and dad that can touch you here for now. No other person. Don't touch me there.
Oh, thank
So
you.
you can't trust anybody.
Thank you so much, Binkwe. So, Defunka, we lost you there for a minute. Thank you for being vulnerable. You're actually using your own personal experiences.
I always like to
yeah,
use it because
thank
when you use it, it's because it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like people
It
just
brings
think,
it closer home.
it's just happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Defunka, we lost you there for a few minutes. You were saying something before.
Yes. So I would say that it's complicated, and like she has actually said everything I want to say. That is the way you handle your children. Don't trust anybody. That's just the bottom line of it.
Yeah.
But where I just want to come in is that even the men, be very, very careful.
Yeah.
Be very careful. Every time we go for sensitizations in school, we get at least 5 to 10. This is not exaggeration, of children coming to meet us telling us that their
My
father
dad.
abused them.
Oh, yes.
So, and we have also seen a case of where a man ran to our counseling unit and it was like he needs help. That because while he was growing up, from age 6, the mother, I think a businesswoman, she goes travel all the time. The father works with the bank, so they live in with the house help, and the house help started abusing him from age 5 to 6.
Wow.
And every year in, year out till they enter secondary school, the abuse continue with almost all
Wow.
the house help they take. So it does not get attracted to any woman that does not have that house help smell or does not do the cleaning. So when he got married, he had like 3 divorces in a row.
Wow.
Well, like what is really happening? It was like because he always end up sleeping with the house help because that is the only sexual attraction he grew up with. So when I say that this thing resonates deep with the first foundation of every child, which is the home. When you bring a rapist to sit down to talk and you ask them about their childhood, 90 to 95% of them are victims. And that is what they know. That is what is in their brain. I have a friend that tells me that until her husband beats her, she does not get sexually aroused because
Wow.
that is the way
That's
the
what she
cousin used to
knows.
treat her. That's what
Mm.
she knows. That is
So,
what the brain accepted and adapted to.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's what
So
it
that
does.
is the reason why I'm trying to tell every parent now, guard your children fiercely and jealously. Like, guard them like your life depends on them. Because the moment it goes loose,
Mm-hmm.
that is it.
Mm.
And
Absolutely.
even if they leave the home to go to school, and you've actually given them that orientation, their self-confidence is top notch, their self-esteem is top notch, they will not be able to fall into the tricks of let's go party, let's go drink, come and meet me in my room, I love you, you are the thing. No, no, no. My daughter is tired of me saying I love you to her. Because mommy, how many times will you say it in a day? Because I don't want anybody else there to tell
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm. And that will not trip
I
her,
don't want anybody
and
else
she will
there
now
to
become
trip
malleable
her.
and soft. Yeah.
I don't want anybody to trip her with anything that I can afford. And I always tell her, be contented with whatever I can give to you. Don't fall into the tricks of come and get this thing. Don't fall into the tricks of let me follow you. So don't trust a friend to take you somewhere. If the place is not exposed, do not go.
Go.
If the place is not a playing ground or a mall that is visible to everybody, do not go there. So even in the home, how many times do you just burst into your children's room to check what is happening to them? How many times do you just try to talk to your children to tell them that I need you to confide in me what you're facing? Is anybody touching you inappropriately? Don't feel. I ask my children this question like maybe twice a week. Tell me anything you're going through. Is anybody touching you inappropriately? What are you facing? Is there anything happening in school? Is there anybody telling you something? And some of the time they come out to tell me, even the crushes. Oh, mommy,
Of
I'm crushing
course.
on somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
like the person. I'm like, oh, yes. And that is where they start trusting you. Not like, lie me, why are you crushing? Yeah, ooh, no. You
Mm-hmm.
lose such a child.
Mm-hmm.
But when you tell such a child that it's good to crush, but let it end there, make yourself friends. When they see worse than that, they will run back to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Defunke. Thank you both. Okay, so now I just want us to, before we move to the second phase of this, and talking about the second phase is actually abuse in the home between couples. But before we get to that stage, I want us to talk to people that may be going through this. Like, at what stage are they supposed to speak out? At what stage are they supposed to ask for help? When do you speak out? When do you feel comfortable enough? Or do you ever feel comfortable to talk about this, to talk about rape, to speak out? At what point, at what stage do you speak out about abuse and rape? Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay. For me, like I always say, immediately you experience it. Because you see, I've seen a situation whereby she was she was raped, she told no one about it, and she became loose and she became promiscuous. Then she got married. She then told her, she didn't tell her husband, she came to us. While she was married, she was having an extra affair. You see, all along, she didn't want to do it, but she didn't know how to stop. And do you know the reason? Because she did not break the plague of silence. Immediately she experienced the first event. It might be hard to talk about it, especially in the part of world like Nigeria, for example, We don't really have, I don't know, I think I can see a lot of bodies coming up. Thank you for Ms. Definitely for what you are doing. May the Lord God empower you more. You know, it gladdens my heart when I see people. I'm sorry, I'm just emotional
Oh
about
my
it.
goodness.
You know, people can't even talk. Some parents are too tough for their children to even speak out. They can't even say it. So they don't like it. But there's not even body around them to even talk to. They lack
They
love.
can just take it.
They are not seeing love. Love is far away from them. You can imagine some parents are like, face your studies, go to school. All you have to do about, no, they have neglected their
Go to bed.
the primary call, their primary assignment.
Which is the home, which is the children,
Do you
everybody.
understand? So I feel the first thing, when the first at the first instance, when you are able to break the plague of silence, there will be ease. But if you cover it, I can assure you, the second time will come. But the first instance, when you say, when you speak out, there's every tendency that it might not grow more than that.
Yeah.
So I believe when it happens, summon up courage. That is why they are doing awareness for people that don't even know they are abused. No, so it's unfortunate that some people are abused and they don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are even raped. They don't even, that is what is called rape. Because you don't have. And the person that wants to help you saying that, I must rape you,
I must sleep with you
I
before I
must
give you
sleep
this
with
thing.
you before I give you. Even adults, when they are
Yeah.
seeking for employment, they have to take an advantage of them to sleep with them before they can offer them job. Many of them are not even aware that
That's
is what
rape.
it is called. So I think immediately put yourself together. If you don't have a good parent that you can talk to, like mother, the mom is not there, the father is not there, I'm sorry, look for somebody
Yeah, you can
around
talk to.
you. Or like in Nigeria, for example, that's why our own NGO
Organization,
is
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure they welcome you with love. Speak to me. What is going on? Is everything all right? Immediately, let the silence be broken. Because if you cover it, it's going to keep happening over and over and over and over. And it will get to a state that maybe when you don't have good self-esteem, you can't even talk about it. You start looking down on
It
yourself.
becomes more difficult to talk
Because
about the longer it goes on. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bimpe. Thank you. Definitely, the same thing to you. At what stage?
Okay.
What will you tell someone going through something like this right
I'm
now?
going to I'm going to try and say something that is going to be like a shock, but I think I've spoken about it in two or three of where I have able to talk about. When it comes to when Mrs. Binkwe was emotional, I just smiled because I
Yeah.
understood where she was coming from. When it comes to speaking out, it is not easy
Mm-hmm.
to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have been a victim. Until date, I have not still been able to conquer that fear
Mm.
to face the person and to speak out.
Mm.
I'm talking about two events that happened. Let me see. That was one was 98, one was 2000. And I've not been able. One of them is even like gubernatorial aspirant for Ondo State one time, and I had to like shut down for a week and all of that. That's what I'm telling you, that when it comes to rape and abuse, it is it is destroying.
Mm.
It is beyond what anybody could fathom to explain.
Mm.
Because you don't even know if the person you want to tell believes you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I come from a very strict home that if I had gone to meet my mom will beat me
Same thing.
and tell me that I am the cause of it.
Mm.
I thank God that we're able to resolve, because I think I did tell my mom in details, but I just told her that, mom, 80% of what I went through was because of your high heartedness while bringing me up, you and my dad. And she actually asked for forgiveness and we mended up. But even at that, I couldn't tell her
The
what
whole
happened
story.
almost
Yeah.
under her roof,
Yeah.
the whole story.
Yeah.
So when you bring up children in a way that they cannot communicate with you, or when you are living in a society that everything they do is just to judge you, it's just to see you as a vessel, it's just to see that as a lot, you see that she's been possessed,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
she wants to ruin my home,
Mm-hmm.
she's Jezebel, she tempted the man. Oh, why did she go to see him? A
Mm.
lot. And these things are actually the things that even kill, that even worse than the rape itself.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
That even worse
Mm.
than the rape itself. A friend of mine, when we started the counseling unit, she came to the counseling unit and she was talking to one of the counselors. And I was in the other room, but she didn't know. And she's mentioned a statement. And she was like, her stepfather raped her two elder sisters. And every time the second one that he raped was actually very vocal. Every time the second one goes to meet the mom beats her and tell her that you people wants to ruin my home because your father
Mm.
could not marry me.
Mm.
So when it came to her turn, she did not even bother to
Talk
talk
at
again,
all. Mm.
Mm.
because
There's no
she
point.
prefers
Mhm.
to be raped. She prefers to be raped rather than to be raped and to also talk again.
Mm.
Imagine you being raped and be beaten.
Mm.
It's crazy. So why
Yeah.
can't you just get raped and just know that, okay, at least
At least you are
is
not
one
being
is better
beaten.
than two,
Mm.
Hmm.
and not being beaten.
Mm.
And it's really, and out the funny thing about it is the three girls have not been able to sustain a home,
Mm.
because they just feel this, if this is what marriage is all about, we rather stay single.
Mhm. Like,
So
what's
that's
the
when I say
point?
that it is a lifetime destroying thing that is happening. No matter what, it's just when you remember it. So if you tell them to speak out, who do they want to speak out
Speak
to?
to.
Our organization, we have very limited capacity of who people we could talk to. The highest, we have only like four counselors. The highest those they do it for pro bono. So even the society is not even having, the government supposed to have a lot of counseling unit, a lot of shelters, a lot of, you see people talking out and they are being sent out of their homes.
Mm.
They will send them out.
Mm.
That's why we have the shelters, so that they have a place to go. So some of them just want to stay like, okay, it has happened, it has happened.
Hmm.
Let me just cope. Let me just go and get some drugs and use it so that I don't get pregnant to complicate issues, and let me just move on. And they just feel so weak. They just feel so, they feel like they are nothing. They feel like a trash, because
Mhm.
Exactly.
that is what the society makes them to
Mm.
feel. I remember when my incident happened and the man was, and it was like, even if you go out there, nobody will believe you. So it's
Imagine.
better it better you just accept my apology rather than facing the shame of denial.
Mm.
And I thought about it and I was like, yes, nobody will believe me.
Mm.
I look around and I realize no one will believe me. Even if I talk now, they'll be like, oh, I just want to ruin his name. Oh, because he's now a very big man of God. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons what pushed me into what I'm really doing.
Yeah.
Because anytime I see similar cases, it burns out. It's like I give my all to it. Like, oh my God, let me push this like my own. It's like a revenge mechanism for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But can I still face my own demon? No.
Yeah. True.
So
So
you can't
sorry to cut
say
you
they
short,
should speak out.
Defunke, because now
Yeah.
I still faced my own demon. No, I wasn't raped, but I was sexually assaulted. That I'm sure is going to shock a lot of people hearing this right now, because I was sexually assaulted and I could not talk about it. Not because I don't have the courage, not because I don't have that environment, because we were brought up in a way that, especially my dad, we opened up to my dad. But I could not tell my dad about it because it was actually done by a couple that they trusted. And my dad would most likely have gone to jail if I had said anything. I know my dad would kill them. So I did not say anything. I'm sure if my mom listened to this, she would be shocked to her bones. So I just interrupted you to say that now, that this is the first time I'm actually acknowledging this publicly. This is the
Yeah,
first
this is
time
my
I'm
own
saying
second.
this.
Okay, this is
Yeah,
my second
this is the
time.
first time I'm
But
saying
we
this
can't still
openly.
mention the names.
I cannot still mention the names. I cannot still say the, yes, I can't.
You know, in my own case,
It's crazy.
the
It is.
first one that happened to me, I was 11 years old. Do you know that one of my childhood friend apparently became my best friend? For the first time, I just told him his dad, is our neighbor, was the first to molest me sexually. This my friend, we are age mates. The man has 8 children. My friend was the only boy. And she has 7 girls, or maybe 7 children, or I don't know, Sha. But do you know that, the first time I met my husband, it was the first I told.
This is the first time I'm saying it. This is the first time I'm
But
coming out to say
I
this.
told my friend I think this year, or December last year, this my friend that, look, this is what your dad.
Wow.
And my friend was shocked.
Yeah.
Sorry. I told him, you know why? Because over the years, my own research says that, you see, the same traits, they pass it on somehow.
It actually affected my own marriage. It affected my marriage.
And I told my friend that this is what I've been through. How many years ago? I'm 39 now. When I was 7 years ago, and when I was 11 years old, and my friend said, "Wow, Bimpe, you mean you kept this for those years?" I said, my guardian father. Then I was even staying with my grand aunt, and they were disciplinarian. They were thorough. I didn't even have the courage to tell them.
In fact, you guys, both of you gave me the courage to talk about my own now.
Yeah, the only thing I did then was that I avoided going, as a child, because I saw what he was doing to me. Then I avoided going there. But as a child, you forget, you go. Yeah. But immediately I realized that, oh, the house is kind of, there's nobody around. Immediately when I remember, I move out. But I couldn't tell my...
This is the first time I'm owning up to you. This is the first time I talked about it with a very close friend of mine just once. I'm talking about like 27 years ago.
See? Same thing.
It's taken me 27 years, more than 27 years to actually say this right now. That's why I said my mom will be shocked. In fact, my sisters will be shocked because they've never had me say this. This is the first time. It is a couple. They are a couple that my mom and dad knows. They know them they brought them into the house.
You see?
my mom will have an idea of what I don't want to tell you too much, because if I go deep into it, she will have an idea of the couple I'm talking about. Because they were leaking, they were still waiting, and then but then she would just be like, once I come back from school, my mom will say, they've asked about you, or your friends have asked about you, because she did not know. She did not know, and I would just grumble, and I would. It got to a stage that I think it actually formed and shaped me. In retrospect now, like what Defunke said, it's damaging because it formed and shaped me into. There was actually a time I became reclusive, that I became too quiet.
That is one of the.
I became extremely quiet, and my mom would be like, "Why are you not talking? Why are you not playing with the other people? Why are you not relating to other people?" Yes, I just withdrew, and I gradually became quiet. Like it's recently that I started talking. I became so quiet and into myself that I started.
Self-esteem too.
Now that shaped me. That formed me. That told me I cannot stand for this. Because when I finally found my voice and I could talk, I wasn't going to stay in a marriage that will suppress that again. No. So it's talking about this is bringing up a lot of memories, bringing up a lot of things. I had a wonderful parents.
What you're talking?
Yeah. Where we should.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is I want to talk about it in two area. The number one aspect of it is the fact that over 20 years, I wanted to face the demon. Then I added him up on Facebook. That was last 2 months. And the moment he accepted, I started having palpitations in my chest. Like I was. So in one of my comments, one of my posts, he commented on it, and I told Susan, who is my very close friend, I went to the inbox and I like, Susan, this man, and I was crying. I'm just trying to tell people watching how bad this thing is. I was crying. This is over 20 years. It came back fresh. I remember I had the perception of the smell of him, the room color, the bedsheet color. Everything came back instantly, and I was shaking. And she was like, I know you can't do this. Don't let us face him now. Let us postpone it when you're ready. And let me tell you, a lot of women that have gone through that are always very defensive when they go into marriage and they don't enjoy their marriage. A normal thing that we are supposed to, I'm a single mom, a normal thing that we may have looked at. I'm not giving abuse. I'm not giving marital abuse a reason for it. But I'm just saying that even for us meeting this spouses was because of what we have faced. Because we are trying to live in self-denial that we can still get it right. We can still love right. We can still have somebody that will cherish us. And we ended up in the wrong hands. And when these wrong hands now started bringing out their attributes, that defense mechanism comes up, and we say we can't take it, and we just move back.
Yeah.
So it is a life damaging thing.
Yeah.
This is talking to women, to mothers, to fathers who still have young children. I beg you, protect your children. Protect them in a way that, yes, parents could be protective. Like you're lucky to have a very protective parent. But I still want to say that if your mom or dad had looked more inwards, maybe they would have been able to hear from you. Maybe they would have been able to force the discussion from you.
To happen, yeah.
But most mothers were like, oh my, we're all right, Jare. That are the things we should not overlook. When a child becomes withdrawn, let us ask questions.
Yeah.
What happened? Look around. What changed? Who came into the environment at that particular period? if the person who came around, even if the child is not talking, God knows if my child withdraws to me and I know that there are new people that are staying around me, I will let them go instantly. I don't want to even know maybe they are the one or they are not. But for the fact that this particular period that my child withdraws is where you came to stay around us, you have to go. That
Wow.
is how fiercely we have to protect our children.
Wow.
90% of divorce, the bottom line is a sexual assault. If you trace it down, it's a sexual assault, either from the man or from the woman. Even domestic violence. The most 90 to 95% of people that experience domestic violence actually see their parents doing the same thing to their mothers or to their fathers.
Yeah.
So we should just be very careful. These children, they come with a brain of innocence. It is what we put in it that they develop. Thank you.
Well, thank you both so much. This is actually, it's actually personal. It's closer to the three of us. And I did not even know about, I didn't know when I was putting this together, when I invited you both. I actually did not even know I was going to talk about myself this way. But I think both of you being vulnerable just give me the courage to come out and say this. And like I said, it's going to shock my family because it's actually a couple that they know very well. Not my two elder sisters, because they were gone. They were in college then. So they were gone. They were not in the house. But my younger sister most likely will be shocked, and my mom especially will be shocked. So it's a topic that will most likely take the whole day to talk about if we want to talk about it, because it's bigger and it's broader, and it's like it shapes you. It makes you, it forms you into who you are, knowingly or unknowingly. You might, because I'm just thinking about it, I'm flashing back, and I'm just like okay, this is why I could not take this, because subconsciously I told myself I wasn't going to stand for any form of abuse. I wasn't going to take it. I'm not going to stand for it. It doesn't matter, emotional, physical. I wasn't physically abused in my marriage. I was emotionally and verbally abused. And I wasn't going to stand for it. I wasn't going to be pushed back into something I just got out of. You know, I became so quiet that, in fact, people think I was a proud person because I won't talk and I won't relate to people. But it was me protecting my space. And I took that attitude and that mentality into my marriage. And I wasn't going to be pushed back into being a recluse, being a quiet and a sadist, because I was almost a sadist then. So let's just go on one more break and then we'll be back. All right, welcome guys. It suddenly became so heavy for us, for the three of us. It became so emotional for us, because I think the more we talk about it, the closer it becomes. It became so personal and so close to us, and it makes us think back to things that were done to us in time past that we did not actually think about, that we did not attach so much importance to it. Like maybe we just locked it. Personally, I just locked it away. I just put it in a box and just like threw it away. And talking about it, just bring it back. It's like bringing back the box and opening it up and relating it to who I am right now, relating it to my marriage, to my relationship right now. And I can actually see the walls that I have built up along the way because of that. So this is deep, it's personal, and whew. So let's just give our final thoughts, and most likely we'll come back another time to go to talk about the other questions that we have here, because we've not even gone halfway and our time is up. So Bimpe, let me just ask for your final thoughts, so that we can wrap this session of this topic up and then come back some other time to address the other questions. Your final thoughts.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say this, which I've said before. I'm so passionate about it. Let us raise our children.
Right.
Everybody out there, man, woman, misbehaving, they did not fall from heaven. Somebody gave birth to them. If parents comes together and build, or if women, when we come together and build, we will build a nation, and a good one indeed. A good nation indeed. That is all I have to say.
Oh, wow. Thank you so, so much. While we wait for Defunke to come back and give us our own final thoughts, I will just give mine and I just say, please, please, I'll beg parents, I'll beg um, guardians to protect our children as much as we can. Because these things we are talking about have lasting effects on people. Like I just had a flashback, I just had a like a a light bulb moment while talking about this. And I realized that the experience I had when I was 14, 15, I'm almost 42. So that's to tell you how long ago I went through this. And then somehow it shaped me and formed me into the woman I am right now. And it actually translated into my relationship, it translated into my marriage. That I, like Defunke said, things that we averagely would have overlooked and just ignored in our marriage becomes magnified because of what we've been through, because of what we've experienced. So somehow, knowingly or unknowingly, without our own faults, our experiences shaped us and made us into men that we are these days, women that we are right now, like Bimpe just said. So please and please, maybe you're a man, you're a woman, let's take care of our children. Let's help them grow up to be well-balanced children. We might actually think we are doing okay now, but in retrospect, there are still some things that are missing. There seems to still some things that we are lacking that would have actually made a difference if something had been done back there. And to whoever, a man, a woman, whoever you are, that you are going through any form of abuse right now, please and please speak up. Please and please speak out. It is not easy. It is never easy to speak out. We are lucky to be able to come to this place where we are right now to actually say, yes, I went through something like this. I was molested, I was abused, I was assaulted. Because we find ourselves in a space where we can talk about it. We find ourselves in this setting where we can be vulnerable about ourselves. So we are begging you to please, if you can't talk to your parents, if you can't talk to your spouse, there are a lot of organizations out there right now. There are a lot of support groups out there right now that will welcome you with open arms and hear your story. They will be open to you hearing your story and speaking up about it. And the only way to heal is actually the first step to healing. The first step to healing is to speak out. That is the first step to healing. Speaking out is the first step to healing. So please and please, this is a plea from me, from the depth of my heart. Speak out. Speak out for the future generation, for your future. Speak out for your marriage. You might think you have it all. You might think you are okay now, but deep down, I just realized my own case that no, it really affected me, affected my marriage. So I'm telling you to please, please speak out. Unfortunately for us, I think Defunke, we lost Defunke, so she really could not come back to give us her final thoughts. But I'm sure she will agree with the final thoughts of the both of us. And so, Abimpa, I want to say thank you. Thank you so, so much for doing this. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. Thank you for telling us your story.
Thank
It
you.
really, really, I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people out there.
Thank you.
And so to our viewers out there, thank you. On behalf of Funke too, Defunke, thank you. If you watch this, we appreciate you coming. We appreciate you being vulnerable. We
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
telling us your story. We can't see you, but I think you're there. Can hear you say you're welcome. Can
Yes,
you just say
I
something?
can. That. Yes,
Okay.
thank you. You all said everything. It's emotional for us.
Yes.
Best thing is speak out, protect your children, guide their emotions. The emotional intelligence is very, very key.
Important.
And that's just it. Let them just be well. Let them be able to trust you. Watch your environment from time to time. be the mother hen to your children. And don't say that, oh, this person, I trust this person with my life, is my sibling, is my brother, is my husband, is my friend. No, always ask questions and also study your children behavioral pattern. And for the adults, don't trust too much. Don't over trust. Don't go into secluded places with people. Always make it to be open. Don't say that, oh, she's my friend, I want to go to a party. No, and always be security conscious and also be discerning as well. So
All
that's just
right.
I want to say. Thank you for having me,
Thank
Odun.
you,
It's
Defunke.
nice
We
meeting
really,
you,
really
Madam
appreciate.
Bimpe.
Thank you
Thank
too.
you
Thank
so,
Thank you.
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you to the
Thank you.
both of you. So, thank you,
Thank
viewers
you.
out there. You've had it all. There's nothing more to add to it.
Thank you.
All we would just say is join us next time when we come your way. And while waiting for us to come your way, you can like us on our social media pages.
She's
You
back.
can follow the show on Facebook. It's Real Talk with Odun on Facebook, Real Talk with Odun on Instagram as well. And like I usually tell you, the media house that powered this is Glimpse Extra. It's Glimpse Extra on YouTube, Glimpse Extra on LinkedIn, Glimpse Extra on Facebook, Glimpse Extra on Instagram. But then on when you want to download the app, it's just Glimpse X. We have an app. It's Glimpse X. There's no extra. It's Glimpse X. You can download the app. So you have access to this show and all of our other shows. And for those of us in the United States of America, you can actually watch us on Roku. There's Glimpse Extra on Roku. So you can see Glimpse Extra on Roku and then watch this show on your TV in the living room. So until we come your way next week, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. You know, like I usually say, we are expecting your thumbs up on YouTube. We'll come your way very soon with another interesting topic, and most likely in the nearest future we'll come, both of us, the three of us will still sit down and finish the questions because we didn't go halfway today. Until next time when we come your way, we are still here for you. Whenever you want to talk, you can send us an email. For anyone going through any form of abuse, you can send us an email and we'll look for a way to like link you up with different care. We have a foundation, and then link you up with Bingpe too, that has a foundation. They have support groups that they can link you up with, and you can actually talk to them. Just send us an email. Our email address is realtalk@glimpseextra.com. realtalk@glimpseextra.com. We'll try as much as possible to help, and we hope with the help of God too, we'll be able to do that. So thank you very much for joining us on this episode. Until next time, I'm still your friend, I'm still your girl, I'm still your sister, I'm still someone else's daughter. Odun Akirele. See you next time. Bye for now.